Hello, guys, welcome to my channel. I am back with another video of Bad Buddy spoiler plus analysis video, and note that these scenes might not even happen in this series, but you can use your imagination and you imagine these scenes in mind. So without wasting any time, let's begin the video. So right now Bad Buddy is slowly becoming one of my favorite BL series of this year, but it's too early to judge right now, but I am really enjoying the series so far. So as expected, this episode also doesn't exist in the novel, but I think this episode will start establishing the bickering relationship between Pat and Pran, and Team Engineer and Team Architect as well. Like this episode shows the personality of both Pat and Pran. We see Pran as a person who easily gets stressed out, and Pat never give up attitude, like he keeps approaching Pran even when Pran don't wanna meet Pat. Pat annoyingly keep approaching him and helping him. I really like we are given a clear-cut personality to both the gangs. It's not like sometimes one gang is bad or sometimes the other. Like it's clear that Engineer is the one who always starts a fight, then Architect just shows a reaction of it. So the only thing I found off was that certain revelation of Pat's gang started the fight and Pran getting angry with Pat. Like we needed to see Pran reacting to the video. Like I felt that scene was necessary to show. I think this show it's following You Fell First but I Fell Harder trope. It's clear Pran have a crush on Pat, but Pat will fall harder for him. Like in the novel, Pat is so deeply in love with him. I am assuming they are not going to give reference to Nong Hom. I am really sad. Like I really find the bond of Nong Hom and Pat relationship, but they mentioned about the fragrance. In the novel, Pat is really attached to the smell of Nong Hom and Pran, and I think this door sign and lamps also represent the mood of Pran. Like we have to keep an eye on them to see Pran's mood. So whenever Pran is in a problem or sad, the door sign and lamps will be also sad, and whenever the problem is resolved, those doors and signs and lamps are also happy. So let's start with spoilers. Note it's from Pat's perspective, and from this point, Pat started to realize he likes Pran. So the scene starts with Korn complaining to Pat, Chat. Recently he keeps ignoring them and finding occasion to go home. They frankly ask them, does he have a new lover? Then Korn asked what happened to Nat. Then Pat said he would be dead if PAA found out that he has been involved with Nat. Then Korn asked, what did you do? Like you don't play with us or drink alcohol, you act like you have a lover. Then Pat replied, if I had a girlfriend I would have told you guys. Then one of Pat's friends asked, are you gay? Then Pat was shocked at first how his friends have analyzed this far. Then Pat tries to avoid the question by saying he needs to buy some, but his friend asked them the same question. Then Pran replied, I can be anything, I am a god. Then Pat leaves him. Note, I think if this scene even happens, this would be done by Pran. And why? Because in the series Nock is just too immature. So after leaving his friend, he went to Liberty to meet his Pran, but he saw Pran with Y. Then Pat just stood behind a pillar and getting jealous of Y. Then Pat was so angry he forget the promise he made with Pran that he will not be drunk if he wanna sleep in Pran's room. Pat was so drunk and inside his mind keep repeating that Pran is mine. Then Korn asked, what's wrong with you? After the library you are like that. Then Pat didn't reply anything, he just said you guys should leave, I will go by myself. Then Pat was alone in bar. Then he missed Pran, so he decided to meet Pran. He called taxi. Then he got into the taxi. Then he passed out. Then a few hours later he woke up next to the dumpster. He looked at the time, it was 2 AM, and his phone, money, everything got robbed by the taxi driver, but safely he was near the dorm, so he went to the dorm by foot. Then he straight up went to Pran's room. Pat knocked at Pran's room. The Prans annoyingly opened the door and said, you are drunk again. Pat apologized, but Pran let him sit at the sofa. Then Pran ordered him to take a shower if he wanna sleep with me. Then Pat said he might sleep in the shower. Then Pran annoyingly said, okay fine. Take off your shirt, I will wipe you. Then Pat said pants too. Then Pran started to wipe Pat's body with a wet towel. Then Pran even put Pat's cloth. Then Pran said, who will endure you? Then Pat replied, you will. Then Pran replied, I meant a woman. Then Pat replied, I don't want a woman, you are enough for me. Then he added, thank you. Then Pran replied well. Then Pat said you are so nice to me. Then Pran replied I am nice person. That's why. Then Pat said I am hungry. The Pran annoyingly said it's 2 AM. Then he went to the kitchen and came up with hot bowl of porridge, then gave it to Pat. Then Pat asked are you good to everyone? Then Pran replied yes. So what? Then Pat said can't you just be good with me? I don't like it when you are with other. Then Pran said are you drunk? Then Pat said I am speaking the truth. Then Pat, after gaxing at Pat, said I want Pran to be mine alone. I don't like your friends. I don't like other people close with you. Then Pran said ridiculous. Do you think bad of me? Then Pat replied it's not that. If you are mine, Nong, I would keep forever you in the room and won't let anyone see you. Then Pran said you are crazy. Then Pat continued can you just care about me? Then Pran replied you're drunk. Finish your food. Then Pat said can you promise that I'm the most important person to you? Then Pran didn't replied anything. Then Pat continued I'm jealous. Then Pat hold his Pran hands and Pran didn't removed his hand. Then before Pran said anything Pat quickly put his head on Pran's lap while holding his hand. Then Pat slept on Pran's lap. So guys, that's the end of this chapter. I am not sure if these scenes are going to be in the series or not, but I would die for sure if this scene would be in the series. See you in the next video.
You ever cross your mind? I can know that you don't mind. I be second off every day. Hope you don't mind if I say you're the one who got away. You're the one